Right, thanks for listening to us here at ShrimpsNet. This is the podcast of the Shrimps Trust, all things Morecambe FC. Another week and another fun-packed infotainment episode is on its way. The usual suspects are presenting, obviously with Kobayashi Joel and Verbal Diarrhea me. But the guests today, we've got the enigmatic board executive with his four-poster bed, Charlie Appleyard. Charlie, welcome along.
Living the dream, Freez, living the dream.
And all-round striker extraordinaire, a man with connections both at Morecambe FC and St Mirren, as has somebody else now. Thanks for coming on, Jon Obika. Jon, welcome.
No, appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
And he's been forewarned. He knows what to expect, ladies and gentlemen. So we can expect a good time tonight. So where do we start? Easy. Ipswich Town at home last week, 4,926 on at the Mazuma. Fantastic. And superb behaviour. The minute's silence for Ken Ormerod, the former secretary, who was a legend at Morecambe FC, impeccably observed by Ipswich. Thank you for that if you're listening as an Ipswich Town fan. But also, it was absolutely brilliant to see such a large crowd and not even a hint of bother and a hint of nastiness right across the way, Charlie, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. I mean, we were so pleased to get through. I'm sure Jon will back me up. It was a very emotional week a couple of weeks ago. I know James was on last week and eloquently went over everything, so I need to go over it again. But it was just nice to actually realise that it wasn't the end of the season. It wasn't. We can't. We really believe we're in a great position now. We made the right choice, I think. Well, I know we did. I'm back that 100%, and hopefully we'll be able to be in a position where we are, a lot stronger at the back. It was like bodies on the line. It was unbelievable. Really, really, really special to see everyone caring and fighting for each other, the fans backing everyone up, and all the squad are really working hard together. And we played really well in both halves. I thought, we swapped it around so differently in the second half, but we were having performance in both ways. And Aaron scoring another header, and we've got so many options. It's really exciting, and 12 games to go. And I think that I was saying to another fan on the weekend. I went to the Carabao Cup final on Sunday with representing the club, and we were just saying it's so exciting being in League. I was on a table with Rochdale, Exeter City, and Oldham. They'd love to be in League One. They were like, we're so jealous we're not in League One. It's so exciting. So hopefully we can stay there and keep them out.
Well, there was 13 cup finals. The first of them, Joel, was Ipswich Town. Their squad, I won't say expensively assembled, but expensively paid. And they made 19 signings, just like we had at the start of the season. And they took time to gel. Paul Cook lost his job. But they seemed to have a fairly settled side, hadn't conceded a goal for 5 games. And as Charlie's alluded to, some clever changes by Derek at half-time to get more people in the box supporting Cole Stockton. An all-round fantastic defensive performance. Happy with the point?
Yeah, I think obviously it's scary at this stage of the season, but when you look at the balance of the game, I think we have to be pretty happy with the point. And look at the subs they made. You've alluded to it with their squad. Like, they bring off what is probably a pretty decent, a solid championship front three, to be honest, with the likes of Macaulay Bonne and Aluko. But then they bring off the bench, Selena and all those.
Connor Chaplin.
Yeah, Connor Chaplin.
Caden Jackson.
Yeah, and Caden Jackson. So it was literally, they just replaced like a decent championship front three to very possibly a better championship front three. So, it does show you the kind of the amount of quality they have. And in fairness, their coach as well, Kieran McKennie's come in and he's done an amazing job. I thought they were fantastic. I thought they're probably up there with one of the best 2 or 3 sides I've seen this season. Kind of, they're quite different to Rotherham, obviously, but they're on that. I felt they were on that kind of level. The way they were able to open the pitch up and really stretch us, and the way the players moved and worked with each other. I don't think it's. I think we look at some other teams who come to the Mazuma and try to play quite expansive football and hasn't always worked, but.
It's a Morecambe podcast, Joel. Yeah, we're supporting Morecambe.
Yes, sorry, I forgot about that. They were really good, but yeah, I'm partly saying it to mitigate it because I thought we took a lot of pressure, but at the same time, it was bodies on the line, and we did well to keep them out. I think Trevor Carson, what a
our Lord Trevor Carson,
what an unbelievable performance. Rightly in a couple of teams of the weeks, and then I think obviously I see why Derek went 3-5-2. We played so well against Rotherham with that, and then moving in, and he only had a couple of days with the players, so coming into this game it made sense. Obviously we came under a lot of pressure. He changed it up a bit in the second half with Phillips and Wildig coming on. It worked really well. We scored, and it came from a little kind of period of pressure that we had in those first kind of 10-15 minutes of the half, and Aaron Wildig scoring headers with late runs into the box. What more do you want to mark the return of Derek Adams? But and then throughout the second half, obviously, it switched the chase and the equaliser. They bring on those big guns, and it was always going to be tough. So I think we'll see a bit more come out of the side over the course of the week. As players get used to Derek's methods and they kind of get all involved with the game plan. But on the balance of play from that game, against a really, really good team, you got to say fair enough. We'll take a point from that and kick on for Plymouth this weekend.
And John, you were on the bench. Unfortunately, you didn't get on that time, but you've been coming off the bench a lot lately. But what was your view on Ipswich? They were pretty good, weren't they?
Yeah, no, definitely. Just as Joe and Charlie have said, just mirroring what they said. They're a strong side. Ipswich were a strong side. We knew with the experience they had, like with Aluko in there, and obviously like you said, the strikers, the forwards they brought on. They were going to be a threat, but I just feel after the week we had, obviously playing Rotherham and then Ipswich, I feel we did very well to kind of just be focused, staying focused in the game, and you could see boys the lads throwing their bodies on the line and keeping it at 0-0 and them taking the lead, and just a bit of obviously a bit of a negative is to have conceded. But I'm just glad that we were able to get a point from a game which was a difficult game over the 9 minutes.
And that, as I said in the preamble, that was the first of our 13 cup finals. There's 12 cup finals left. And we're moving on now. We've got Plymouth away, which is traditionally, I don't think I've seen us get a point there, even, to be honest, over the years. And I've been probably the last last few seasons anyway. A difficult place to go on the best of times. They've been doing pretty, they had a really good patch when the new manager took over, and they haven't lost any players. They signed a couple in the January transfer window, and they look well set. That they're probably looking at least at the playoffs. But looking at this in the plain terms, it's again we've got to get something from Charlie, isn't it?
Well, I think that we're in a situation where they've lost a couple of. I don't know if they win the last game. They lost a couple of games in a row.
Yeah.
And I just think that we play better against the top sides, and we'll give them a real go. Derek will be well up for it, his old club, and I just think we'll be in a situation where we'll give it a good go. I'm sure we will.
And John, we're obviously by the time people are listening to this, you'll probably be on your way down there on Friday or already be there on the Saturday. Have you made any special preparations in training, or has it just been getting to know Derek and his methods?
Yeah, I feel the gaffer's been very good with us, like just getting his tactics across, his, like you said, his methods, and obviously the game plan going into Saturday. So I feel like the boys, again, we feel focused. Like you said, there's 12 big games for us. And I feel like you see our performances against the big teams in the league, I feel it has always been good. So there's nothing really to fear. I feel we just have to go at it with like a positive mindset, and we'll definitely get a result. And we're going for the win for sure.
And we can expect, as always, down at Home Park, a decent crowd. Like I say, Schumacher's not really changed the way they play when Ryan Law's gone to Preston. He's obviously one of his protégés anyway. So we're expecting them to sort of play a bit of football, but they've got quite a couple of decent front men, Plymouth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry, John.
After Joe.
Sorry. Well, yeah, I was just going to say, with Schumacher coming in, we all know how they're going to play with the back three and everything. I think if we look at the game we had against them early in the season, I thought we played really well in that game. I thought, it was a really good performance. I think we took a point from it, but we were ahead. And to be honest, on the balance of play, I think we were well worth our point. So to us, anything like that performance that we had at home against them, I think we'll do really well.
Best way of putting it, I would say, would be that their manager said we were one of the best sides we played when we drew them at home, and we've played so well against Sheffield Wednesday, Ipswich, Rotherham away, Wickham away, Oxford away. We played so well in all those games. We shouldn't fear anything.
Well, you're right, and I think we were talking about this just as amongst a group of fans this week, and the one thing that we said about the Ipswich game was perhaps that was a game that we might not have won before Derek came in, and we might well have lost, and we got a point. But with Derek coming back, could we be in a situation where we can now turn those... and I take what you're saying, Charlie, because we've had some really decent performances. We've come away from Wickham, we've come away from Oxford, and we've come away from, I'm trying to think where else, Rotherham. And all their fans are like, you're brilliant, you're bound to stay up. But we lost in all of those games. So what we need to do is turn, and I like you say, and you're quite right, John, what you said, that the performance was everything. We were putting bodies on the line and we got a point. But we have to turn that 1 point when we play defensively and brilliantly like we did, but not brilliantly offensively. We still need to get a point. And when we play okay or slightly better, we need to get 3 points. And following on from that, we've got Bolton on Tuesday night, Joel, and we kind of owe them, don't we?
Yeah, obviously what happened with the last game was very frustrating in the manner that we drew it. I think, it's been a funny one because it tends to be that generally the best way of getting 3 points tends to be playing better than the opposition or well, and we've been doing that. It's not been working, and maybe there's a few of those kind of intangibles that are hard to kind of tie down that are doing the trick, or maybe it's just bad luck. I'm not too sure, but we've just got to hope that Derek can come in and he can kind of get things across. And I think hopefully we'll be looking for a similar level of performance to those that we've had of late. But just maybe some of those things like turning the tide, just to make sure that we get those results over the line. And I'm sure Derek and the team and John and everybody I'm sure everybody will be working really, really hard to try and do that.
I still can't believe Jon Obika's second shot against Gillingham didn't go in.
Yeah.
John, I've that's gone to my mind so many times. It must have gone to yours thousands and thousands. How did he save that?
Yeah, definitely. I watched it a few times, just thinking, hoping it.
How did he save that?
Yeah, literally, just a point blank save, and he just gambled.
I from that point of view, I'll say going back to the Bolton game. It doesn't get any easier, John, does it? Away at Plymouth and then away at Bolton. And Bolton's home form recently has been absolutely spot on. It's their away form that's not brilliant. But I know you were involved in the 1-1 draw at home against Bolton. That's another one where we've done easily enough to win that game, missed a penalty, goal disallowed, and end up drawing one apiece. And it's another frustrating, and that's why I'm alluding to the fact that, I'm not saying we owe Bolton, but would you a bit of luck, surely, John?
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel we played very well in that game, performed very well, I feel we definitely deserved the 3 points in that game, but conceding late is always frustrating. But I feel now we're in like the business end of the season. Every game is going to be, even if we're playing teams in and around us, they're going to be tough. So it's about putting points on the board, getting those wins. And I feel the boys are looking forward to Bolton, looking forward to Bolton. Plymouth first, but getting the job done at Plymouth.
Yeah, I hope you're right. But obviously, there's a situation. There's still a little bit of rancour and a little bit of bad blood between the fans, between Morecambe and Bolton. Obviously, we've got a couple of coaches going on Tuesday night, and a couple of fans have been sort of worried about the reception they're going to get. But you know, it is only, I have to say this, that it is only a small percentage of the Bolton fans who are looking for, shall we say, a flashpoint. And we can't allow that to stop us, Charlie, can we?
We can't. You know, we need to. You know, there's plenty of lots of horrible things going on in the world at the moment. The last thing we want is more misery and bad blood between between two football clubs. You know, we need to just hopefully we can get through it on Tuesday with no incidents.
Fingers crossed. And if you are travelling to Bolton, just be careful, but try and enjoy it, because obviously if we get something at Plymouth, get something at Bolton, then we've got a home game where hopefully we can really knock it home. The interesting thing about both of those games, we've been really, really lucky, and I'll come to all three of you now. We've been really lucky lately because we've been in a situation where we've lost, drawn, last 6, but all the teams around us have not been picking up points. So we're in exactly the same position as we were 6 games ago, despite the fact that we've only got 3 points out of a possible 18. And that's got to be, in the short term, that's great for us because it means we're in touching distance, John.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel even looking for the boys, when we may look at the table and see where we are. I think now I could sense that, is when we win or when we draw, that's when we look at the table, because it's us who is going to change our position. So it's just, I feel that now there's a more, probably even more confidence. Now the gaffers come in, more confidence, and you could sense even from the fans, from our fans against Ipswich, they're all behind us, and I feel like this is what we need going into these last 12 games.
So that's interesting that you think Derek's come in and he's been incredibly positive. Is that right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Just from the off, because I think it's quite hard for any manager to come in and straight away. And I know he's been there before, but any manager to come in straight away and make immediate change. But we could see it in training, and we could see it obviously going in at Ipswich. So I feel that we'll have probably a bit more still about us. So we're just looking forward to those 12 games. And
as I've said, Joel, there's always one team. Oh, Charlie's gone. No, he's back. There's always one team who gets sucked in, and I said a couple of weeks ago, I think it might be Shrewsbury, but they haven't got quite sucked into it yet. And one of my mates was musing on the fact that it might be Charlton getting sucked into this because their form's been poor. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Shrewsbury have been the obvious choice, although they have kind of just about kept their head above the precipice recently. I mean, like you say, it's really, you kind of think it's hard to identify one team that might get sucked in, because there's about 3 or 4 above us who've just had very middling form and not picked up those wins. So, I don't know, it's weird. I don't want to say we've been not been punished for not picking up the wins, because we've actually played really well and we've been really unlucky not to get the wins. But nobody's taken advantage of the fact that we've been a bit unlucky in the last few games. And yeah, you kind of think, is this going to carry on for the rest of the season? Are we going to run out a bit of luck in terms of other teams' results, and are they going to start coming in? But you just don't know. And like John says, what more can you do but just concentrate on yourself, just concentrate on trying to win your games, because you can get let the fans do the worrying about all the permutations. How he's going to pan out.
From Wimbledon on the other week, didn't we? And he was like, I feel confident. We've got Doncaster, we've got Gillingham at home, two draws, winning 2-0, 2-0 up. Fleetwood was 3-0 up.
Yeah.
The Fleetwood fans, I saw a podcast of the week. The Fleetwood, all the bottom clubs in the league at the moment were on the podcast, and Fleetwood and Shrewsbury were both thinking Morecambe were going to stay up. Everyone's second favourite club, right? everyone wants us to survive, and I agree with your friend Freez. I think Charlton, that Charlton game on Good Friday is massive, absolutely massive.
Yeah, I think that obviously they're all important, aren't they? But yeah, I think that could be if we can pick up some points between now and then, that could be a really, really important game. Right, we'll move to John now. John, thanks for coming on tonight. Obviously, as I alluded to in the intro, you've come you came to us from St Mirren, and obviously the gaffer's now left and gone to St Mirren, so you know exactly what he's going to there. What prompted you to come back south?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel it was. I was at Scotland for 2 years. Been in Scotland for 2 years.
Yeah.
And most of my career has been in England, and I feel me going to Scotland was just to have a new kind of another fresh start. I remember doing my ACL just after I left Oxford. Before I left Oxford in that season. And I just felt like I needed a fresh start. And then Jim Goodwin, the manager at St Mirren, I remember him calling me and saying, "How do you fancy, a few years in Scotland?" So I felt that was great to have and kind of just get the mind right, get the body right also. And obviously down south this is where this is where family is. Most of my family, obviously, I grew up in London. I know Morecambe, London is not as close, but I feel when Stephen Robertson was here, he spoke to me about the club and obviously about the owners, and it was something that I definitely wanted to come and give my all, And obviously I've been a bit unlucky with the injuries, but I feel now I'm coming into it, and hopefully you'll see the full form.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? And before we came on air, I did say to you that I saw you make your debut at Workington in that friendly that we won. Was it 5-1? We won on a gorgeous summer's evening up in Cumbria. We'd driven right through the Lake District, and it was like, oh, well, this is great. And we were all talking about you and a couple of the other lads that new signings on the way back. So, no, we're going to do all right. And obviously, it went horribly wrong for you pretty soon after that, didn't it? And that's got to be really soul destroying, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was tough because I felt like it's probably the fittest I've ever felt in a pre-season, and just looking at adding to the squad they had last season. I was looking forward to obviously playing with all the players, and we had a strong unit. So I was it was quite gutting I was gutted to kind of miss the start of the season. And obviously it was a long layoff. It wasn't something like this 3 or 4 weeks. It was I think it took me 3 months, 3.5 months. So it was definitely tough.
But as you said, you're back now, and really having got back into the swing of things in December, we've now arrived in March. And do you feel now like you're fully fit and ready for the run-in?
Yeah, definitely. I feel that December was tough because playing the game. Obviously, I could do so much training, but being in the games, that's where you get your match fitness. And probably I didn't feel as fit in these games, but now I just feel back to normal. And now is the business end. Is have a good feeling. That I'll make an impact for sure.
Well, you've already done that because obviously you've scored a couple of important goals. Obviously, you're tapping from somebody's awful. It was the awful shot against Doncaster that was going wide. Greg Lee.
It was deflected. Actually,
that was a good finish.
Was it? Yeah, it was a great finish. I'm not saying it was a great finish, but was it deflected? I've only watched it the once, and that was from the home stand. So I just thought, Greg Lee, he shanked it, and then you stuck your foot out, and it was 3-3.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, to be fair, coming on that 3-2, you want to make I think it was like 10 minutes left, so you want to make an immediate impact. And I felt that was probably the goal that got us going, and obviously the crowd behind us, and obviously Toombs, scoring that banner from edge of the box, that it just tipped it off.
Yeah, happy days. And then obviously just after that, we went and managed to draw your dream draw, Tottenham, in the FA Cup third round. And obviously you've got history there. You've still got friends there. Quite a few of the players there. That must have been a special day for you.
Yeah, amazing. Obviously for myself, my family. I lived 5 minutes from there. I grew up 5 minutes from the stadium, so that was kind of my hometown. So going back there, still speak to Ryan Mason is part of the first team staff there. So and obviously some of Loris I don't speak to, but it was good to see him again. So it was nice to kind of see them. But yeah, it would have been nice to get one over on them for sure.
Well, we didn't do so bad, did we? 1-0 up for 74 minutes. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Yeah, that was amazing. And obviously, even just seeing the fans there, coming into, I think when we first came in, they were already, seated and whatnot. And, it was nice. Obviously, a great occasion for the club also.
So is this you coming out as you're a Tottenham fan then, are you?
It's weird. I was like a Tottenham and then a Man United fan growing up. I just liked strikers, different types of strikers, like a Van Nistelrooy or obviously I like Teddy Sheringham, and then at Man United I like Cole and York partnership. So, but when I went to Tottenham, it was surreal at the start because I used to hear the noise from the stadium from my house. So that was amazing to kind of grow up through the youth ranks there.
Just from my perspective, the reasons why I know Jon Obika is a good lad, right? There's a few reasons. First of all, the reception he got at Tottenham from the Tottenham fans.
Yeah, true.
That was really special. You see people get a clap normally, but they were really going for it. Second of all, when he had that horrific injury, I mean, I spoke to Farney, and Farney was like, I was hamstring. I was like, I'll be all right. No, this is proper off the bones stuff. And he came back, and he went on the co-commentary on the match on the Shrimps Live. You didn't have to do that. And then you always speak so positively. You must be very frustrated. You haven't got much game time as you wanted, but you so much humility and support and positivity, and I think it really does demonstrate throughout the comms of the whole club, and that's part of the reason why we need a full squad behind each other. I think it's brilliant.
No, I appreciate that, Charlie. But yeah, I feel you guys everyone has welcomed me well since coming here, and even doing the co-commentary it was just nice to just get a view of even how the fans feel and the fans think. Obviously, I've just come in there, so it even took the mind off the injury, and it kind of sped it up. I feel because I enjoy talking about football, enjoy interacting with people. So yeah, it was definitely a blessing for sure.
So my final little chat with you before Joel puts you to the sword. Obviously, you got that goal. We'll talk about your goal against Gillingham, and Charlie's already alluded to it. I thought you hit the second one better, and he saved that one, didn't he?
Yeah, no, definitely. To be fair, my right foot, I've been working on it. To be fair, that's normally the wooden leg. To be fair, so yeah, when I struck it properly, I'm thinking, this has to be in. So yeah, it was. Yeah, I feel we deserved the win. That's why it was more annoying that it didn't go in, because I feel even the boys from start to finish were perfect. We had all the possession, created a lot of chances, but it's there. Taking those chances are important.
And it seems to be the theme of this. I think we might call this podcast the "We played well but didn't win," because it's happened that many times. But to go back to your finish, you against Gillingham, you managed to sort of like con the man that you were going to go on the outside, and then turned him and then curled it beautifully into the bottom corner. And obviously, we know you favour your left foot. That was an important goal because we were 1-0 down.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel when you're on the bench, you do get to see how their defensive shape is and how they line up. And I knew they were, very deep. So they were always on the edge of the box. So sometimes I do like to come to feet or whatnot, but knowing that, there might not be a lot of space there because the midfield was, the number 4 was always trying to step in on the toes of the striker. So him the defender being on my back was perfect, because I knew that soon if I can turn him, I'm through on goal. So yeah, it was just good to get the equaliser. And obviously push for the winner.
And both of your goals, you've been in a situation where we needed to win, and you haven't really had a chance to celebrate because it's not been, the one against Doncaster, it was like, come on, we can do this. And then again against Gillingham, it was like, come on, we can do this. I'm looking forward to you scoring one and actually standing there going, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that moment also. Yeah, there's, both goals where get the ball back, get on the kickoff line and let's kickoff spot and get going again. So I'm sure there's going to be moments coming in these next 12 games that we can celebrate as a team and celebrate with the fans for sure.
I hope so. Anyway, Joel, John's all yours.
Well, yeah, speaking of hitting shots really nicely off your right foot, I was thinking about the one you hit against Rotherham, caught that right in the laces, lovely shot bottom corner, great save from Vickers. And again, that game, I think it was a header, I think, that I thought you did really well to get towards the top corner. He pops out of there. Sheffield Wednesday, I think you have one off the line, with Cole. He's not with Cole, but against Lincoln, obviously you've had one that's come off Cole on the line. While it's frustrating, do you also kind of look at it and think, you know what, I'm getting in the right areas, I'm doing the right things, and actually a lot of the time, it's just been really good goalkeeping.
Yeah, I feel, especially for like forwards, it's important to know, even when you're starting or coming on, you're getting chances, you're getting shots at goal. Obviously, you want to get them on target, want to score goals. But it is frustrating, if you're not getting those opportunities. So then you have to think to yourself, okay, I'm not, I might not be getting in the box enough, or maybe I'm standing too close to the defenders in the box. So knowing that, I don't even have to think like that now. I know that if I'm coming on or if I'm starting, I'm going to get those opportunities. It's a good feeling, because I back myself to take those.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think looking at kind of that goal against Gilliam actually as well, I kind of felt like watching you kind of roll your man and pop it right in the far corner. I thought like it was quite a nice visualization. It kind of showed how much you kind of get in your match sharpness back, because I think obviously we speak about timescales and coming back from an injury, but how hard is that last little step where you've got to try and, when you haven't got the pre-season to kind of build yourself up, you're just kind of getting thrown into matches here and there when you're trying to build up that kind of sharpness and that little bit of edge. Yeah,
no, it's important, because when you're not match fit or match sharp, there's other things that are on your mind, like, if the hamstring, it was, when I first came back, it was sprinting, a bit conscious of sprinting and whatnot, but now everything is fine. Now you can just think of, how you're going to be in dangerous positions, how you're going to attack your opponent. So now it just feels, it's just freedom in the mind and in the play to actually make a real impact.
No, yeah, and yeah, fortunately we've seen the kind of fruits of that with obviously Doncaster and then Gilliam. So going back to a bit earlier in your career, then obviously I was looking and you had quite a lot of loans, and while you were at Tottenham, and was that a difficult thing, or being a bit younger, were you quite happy kind of changing location and testing yourself in kind of different ways?
I think my first loan was at Yeovil. It was in League One. I remember going with Andros Townsend. We both went. They just told us we didn't really know where Yeovil, because we were just always London. We didn't really know where Yeovil was, and our one of our academy managers, John McDermott, just told us, "Listen, here's a train ticket. You have to, you find your way. Someone will meet you at the station." So we kind of had to just prepare. So that was quite daunting. But after I tasted that, I think I was there for maybe 3 or 4 months. After I tasted that, I wanted more of. I didn't want to play like under 18 football again. I didn't want to play reserves, because there was just a different edge to playing on a match day. For something which you see your teammates are geared up for, like on match day. So I always wanted to go out on loan, but I felt there came to a point where you have to just say to yourself, like, no, let me stay at Tottenham, see if I can make the grade here. But for me, I felt like because if I'm not with the first team in pre-season, okay, it means go on loan, instead of maybe say no, I want to stay here and see, if this manager likes me, like a Harry Redknapp, he liked some of the youngsters, and he gave me my debut. AVB, Andres Villas-Boas, and he again liked a few of the youngsters and gave me a few games there. So I think it's just the confidence to maybe just have stayed in one space and see what you can do. If they don't like you, you're going away anyway. So I probably went on a bit too many loans, I'll say. That's
interesting. But I like that. I guess it's kind of that wanting to prove yourself in the men's game, even if it is at a lower division, and kind of having that kind of the rush and the match there and everything.
Yeah.
So coming to your spell at Morecambe, obviously we've had Stephen leave at quite short notice, and all the kind of all the emotion that comes with that, and then obviously Derek's coming now. So how's that been to adjust?
Yeah, to be fair, I have to be honest. It's probably tough because kind of learned a way of playing, like learn tactical ways of Stephen Robertson. And now the new gaffer has come in, and we have to learn his ways in a space of time where, like you said, is in the business end. But I feel now we've been in it for a week. We feel more focused. Honestly, I feel we feel more focused going into games, and we feel like confident and ready with the tactics the gaffer has brought to us, and is looking good in training. So I feel that's where we get our confidence from, and then it's going on the match days and showing it. So now I've definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, because from the outside, I think it is quite a bit of a change to kind of the methods and the tactics. So has that been kind of having that week now? I guess it's still not that long, but is it kind of been enough to really start getting his messages on board then?
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, he's freshening things up. He's freshening things up in our mind and things that I feel even seeing the success Morecambe had last season, that brings even more confidence to us, knowing that listen, this is the gaffer that brought them to League One. So even having that in our minds, we're going into games very confident.
I suppose also you got a couple of you got your Stocktons and your Wildings here from last season, who can kind of give you a little bit of a so this is what the gaffer's about when he comes in, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, also Toombs. So it was this week has been so clear in what he wants and expects from us. So it's up to us to go out there against Plymouth and show what we've been taught this week.
It's strange, John, because we've had, as you've alluded to, we've had particularly Aaron Wildig, Toombs, etc., who played under Derek last season and then played under Robbo, and obviously we're back under Derek now. And the two or three that we've had on have said that Derek was very, very specific about the way he wanted us to defend, but when it came to us going forward, he didn't mind you expressing yourself. Have you found that? Yeah,
definitely. Just even in the drills we've been doing, there's a lot of freedom for even obviously myself, like some of the forwards to, if we want to drop deep, we can drop deep, go in behind. So and with that, it gives the forwards and midfielders that sort of creativity, and it's not probably it doesn't feel like it's maybe rigid or whatnot. It gives us creativity. Aaron Wildig might go forward, and one of the forwards come in. So it's a nice feeling.
Yeah, and that must be nice because he's like I say, it's been said before that he trusts you to make the right decision. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. I feel this week, just from the patterns of play we're doing, it definitely gives us that kind of belief and freedom that we need, and is looking good. The sort of combinations and patterns we're doing is looking very good.
When Phillips goes down the wing, knock Aaron Wildig out of the way and go far post and head it in. That's what you're going to get.
Yeah, get another header.
Just on that, I think that obviously, Stephen, we were doing good. We were doing well. I think with Derek coming, you've obviously got the people who played under him before, who were probably, Phillips was a different person on when he came on. Wildig, they're obviously really excited about him being back. Then you've got the people who signed at Christmas who are still quite new, who did really, really well. Like we had like Trevor and Jacob and everyone.
Yeah.
And then you've got the people who are obviously eager to impress, who don't know Derek, and it's probably given us a bit of a jolt and a bit of extra. What did you say, John?
Yeah.
A bit more of a catapult to go forward.
Yeah, definitely. I feel, and like you said, you explained it perfectly. It's a great balance. We've got, even, players that are missing out. They can come in and do a great job. That are missing out in the 18-man squad. So we've got a great balance in training. It's very competitive. Everybody knows that the places are up for grabs, and it is a good feel. It's a good feel like that because everyone's on their A game. So going into Saturday, everyone knows, they have to perform.
All we need now is that new manager bounce, isn't it? That always happens. You get 3 wins on the bounce. That's right, isn't it, chaps? That always happens.
That's what the rules are.
I hope we're going to get 4 points in the next two games. I'm not allowed to bet for improper person's test. But if I were to put a bet, I'd put a bet on Freddie getting 4 points.
I hope you're right, Charlie, and I would snap your hand off for those 4 points. I really would. Sorry, Joel, I interrupted you there. Have you got anything else?
No, that was my last one actually.
So new manager, new bounce, newfound freedoms for the attacking players. We saw that. We kind of on Saturday, you guys were warming up, and I noticed straight away that Phillips and Wildig weren't there. So I kind of guessed they were going to come on, and I figured he was going to change the lineup and he was going to get them to support Cole, and they both did that brilliantly. And what happened in the 15th minute of the second half? Both subs combined, and all of a sudden we're 1-0 up against a decent Ipswich Town side. So I think the one thing that Derek does very well, and I've nothing against Stephen, but having seen Derek for like 2 years before he left and then come back again, Derek's very, very good at seeing a game and knowing how he can change it, Joel. And I think that's something that people like John will start to appreciate. Do you think that's right?
Yeah. I can't quite recall what exact instances, but there were moments like during last season where you'd have a little tweak here and there, and
you just need to go back to how many late goals did we score last season? Yeah. How many late goals in 94th, 95th minute did we score? And we haven't done that this season before now. Yeah,
you're probably right, Charlie. You're probably right. And again, it's nothing against Stephen. It's just that Derek sees a game, and he sees a game very, very well, and he knows. Derek's he's very simple in what he wants. We know from experience that he just wants 2 people in every position. And if one's not working, the other person will have a go instead. But he can be quite clever tactically. And that's one thing that the Bradford fans are saying, he's no plan B. And that's never been true of Derek while he's been with us.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've seen a few people say that about Derek. I think he really is quite like, I was thinking about how many formations he used with us, like 3-4-3, 3-5-2, and obviously there was kind of main 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, whatever.
4-2-3-1, yeah, exactly.
It was that kind of thing. But then I remember, suddenly, when he whipped out that diamond against Cheltenham, and it was like, what? What are you doing here? But it worked. We got a result. So
yeah, it did.
He has got a few tricks up his locker, probably a bit more than. But I think it's a bit of an easy stick people use to beat managers with if they're not happy. I think it's just one of the go-to truisms that people will pop out. Oh, he's got no plan B. Yeah, that's it. People just go to that quite easily. But Derek quite clearly has, and in fairness, Stephen did too. He liked his changes to 3-5-2. So yeah, but Derek, he's shown some really good changes in the past. He showed one on Saturday, so hopefully we'll be in for a bit more throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, and Charlie says we're getting 4 points, and I believe him.
I predicted a 0-0 Gillingham Wimbledon game after the 9-1-0 formation that Gillingham played against us.
I think it was 10-0, to be honest. So I'll come to you now, Charlie. Obviously, Ben has been doing his shtick with his press release this week, and there's lots to talk about, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean. Those guys do so much work. We've got, the 12 cup finals to arrange and keep the club going, and the supporter survey, the Barticard thing. I think there's a note about apologising on behalf of it not being done quickly enough. We have tried our best, but there's obviously been logistical issues. We want to make sure that everyone's safe and sound at Bolton on Tuesday, which hopefully will be happening. We're really excited about the Two Stories partnership with Rob Ellis and his company. We've been filling in surveys with all the employee of the board of directors and senior staff. Been filling in stuff to make sure we've got the best brand going to for everyone's second favourite club to be more accessible. Quinny's doing his million step walk.
Million mile walk.
Million step walk.
Yeah, to Pluto, is he?
And Rod Taylor ate mushy peas on the prom yesterday. I saw on Facebook, which is interesting.
Yeah, but he can't get mushy peas at the club. That's terrible.
But all in all, there's so many things going on. Ben sent a really good update. It's put on the official website to have a read of. But we want to be a successful, profitable, and sustainable League One club by 2024, and I think we're doing a pretty good job, considering we're 2 years before that already. And if John and his positive crew and positive mentality can keep us in League One, we'll be way on track for that. And I was saying to someone today that it's almost like there's 7 or 8 teams that are so good. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday, you see them against Burton on
yeah.
I can't list them off. The top 8 are so good, and then I think from 9 or 10 down to 24, there's nothing in it.
No, there isn't. You're right.
There's nothing in it. We just need to get a little deflection, or that guy not saved that Jon Obika shot, and just a couple of wins on the board, and we've just got to finish 20th.
That's all.
Got to finish 20th. We don't have to finish 12th. We've got to finish 20th, and hopefully we can do that.
It sounds simple on paper, but obviously it's down to Derek and John and all the players to make that happen. And I don't think it'll be for the want of trying, John, will it?
Yeah, no, definitely. We know what we need to do, and like you said, now there's like a unity among the players, just knowing that there's 12 games to go around the club. Also, 12 games to go, and we believe we'll do it.
I know, hand on heart, that if the worst happens, which isn't the worst, because obviously there's lots of worse things going on in the world at the moment. But if we couldn't have tried any harder, the fans, the players, Stephen, Dermot, and those, and Derek, and everyone in the club has tried so hard, and that's why I think we'll stay up, because we haven't finished yet.
Yeah, and it ain't over till the fat lady sings. And
it's not over at all.
She's not warming up yet, Joel, is she?
No, exactly. I'm trying to think of a funny way to reply to that, but I can't. I'm sorry.
For those watching on YouTube, before we go, please compare my bedroom to Joel's bedroom. For the record, this is not my bedroom. We're in a hotel. But
Yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to say about North Manchester.
I think he's trying to hint you. I'm going to 4-poster or an Elizabethan themed wallpaper.
I've got a very small wardrobe, and that'll do.
Yeah.
Please, I've got to go, my friend. Can I sign off, please?
Yeah, we're going now.
Thanks,
anyway. We're
John,
thanks, Charlie.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, my friend. See you soon.
No problem, Charlie. Anytime.
Right, we'll finish off just the 3 of us. Joel, we've got some trust stuff to discuss. Is there any room left on the coaches for Bolton?
I don't think there is. There might be 1 or 2, but I think they're all pretty much full now. So yeah, just kind of business as usual. Obviously, looking to offer coaches where we can. We're kind of looking at how we can manage the Shrewsbury rearrange game as well. So keep an eye out for that. Because obviously, that's a tricky situation. Although you do look back with fondness at the fact that they diverted to the Chester game and had a good afternoon there.
Yeah,
so.
True. Yeah. That's going to go down as legendary, won't it? So
yeah.
Strange one, but there you go. Right, this has been ShrimpsNet. We've had Charlie Appleyard, who's already gone because he's on a works do. We've had Jon Obika with us. John, thanks for joining us. I hope at some time in the future, when we've managed to get to maybe 19th or 18th place in this division, you'll come back on and tell us how you did it.
Definitely. Anytime, David. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you, John. It's been fantastic. Joel, thanks as normal. We'll be back next week to talk about, and I say this every week because I'm always positive, about these fantastic 4 points we're going to take off Plymouth and against Bolton. I'd take a draw at Plymouth and then beat Bolton. That's just me, though. So this has been ShrimpsNet. Thanks for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, tell your friends. If you haven't, tell us. And we'll see you next Thursday. Take care.